So conservatives are finally saying the quiet part out loud. And of course, as you can assume, Republican MAGA voters, conservative voters, let's call them what they are, because they always hide behind terms like Republican, the Democrats are the party of slavery. So of course, we have to call them what they are, conservatives. Don't give them no room to retreat into. Conservative voters predictably have zero response and zero plans to hold these people accountable, as Rick Scott publicly states, we're going to have to cut your Social Security and your Medicare and any other program meant to take care of you. We're just going to have to do it. Now, Rick Scott was caught up in some serious fraud before concerning Medicare, and yet this guy is still parroting this nonsense and still is in power over these things. Let's listen.
People they're thinking of the way that Ron is saying, they're thinking of the way that Ron is, they're thinking of the way that Ron is saying that, you can't cut. And that's all great. Then you're not worried about any program you care about, because Medicare is going bankrupt, Social Security is going bankrupt. Inflation can't go away, interest rates can't come down. So my belief is it's all going to. We're going to have to do this. It's good. Are we going to do it this year? Or are we going to do it next year? And if we don't do it.
Now, Brian Tyler Cohen made an amazing point, reminding us all that I guess we shouldn't be surprised that Rick Scott is so quick to trash Medicare, considering when he was CEO of Columbia/HCA Hospital, he oversaw the biggest Medicare fraud in U.S. history and was fined $1.7 billion, which was the largest DOJ healthcare fraud fine ever levied. These are the kinds of people we're dealing with. Social Security is not going bankrupt. We fund it with our taxpayer dollars. Like this whole thing, it's not a business. It's not a fucking business. But this is how they portray it to their voters to get them to sit there and say, well, yeah, I guess you can cut my social safety net and kill me because I guess, well, yeah, Rick Scott, yeah. They just believe anything Rick Scott says. Rick Scott can't even get it out of his mouth. Rick Scott look like he might need Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. The niggas, his bones, his body about this why? He can't just stick. He talked one more word out of his mouth, he's dead. He can't he's on his last leg, 1 foot in the grave. You thought Biden was sick? Look at this guy, Rick Scott. And these are the kinds of people who are over the American people. A man who will never, ever, 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 ever have to worry about his health a day in his life. For some reason derives some sense of power and some sense of glee from just torturing the American people, torching people's Medicare, torching people's Medicaid, torching people's Social Security, rendering people completely destitute is just what makes him feel alive, which I guess just makes sense. Look at him. His legs, like this man's body, he's a stick. I guess the only way he can feel alive is by trampling over the unfortunate, the poor, the needy. That's the only way these people can feel some semblance of power. These people are not Christians. These people are not moral. These people are not just. They're not righteous. They're evil. They're evil human beings. And Trump supporters give these people power every single day. Conservative voters gave these people power. Conservative voters will literally destroy themselves and everyone else just to own the libs. This is how deranged and insane these people are. And now conservatives are finally saying it. But Democratic media is so broken that most liberals and most conservatives and most literal centrists, not the Joe Rogans, actual centrists who just don't know what's going on and just don't care, those people are not going to, the message isn't going to reach them. These conservatives have gotten super duper bold now that they know Donald Trump's never leaving office. Now that they know Donald Trump intends to be a dictator, now they're very comfortable telling people, we're just going to kill you. Yeah, we're just going to kill you. So, yeah, like all of you are going to die and, toodaloo, like that's crazy. That's crazy that they could just sit there and say, yeah, you're all going to die. And, that's a sacrifice we're willing to make. And, see ya. Like that's what's happening now. That's what's happening now, right? Whether it's Rich McCormick over in fucking Georgia sitting saying, oh, well, we're going to have to cut your lives. We're going to have to cut all of you out of earth. We're going to have to just kill all of you. You know what I'm saying? This is what Republicans are consistently telling their constituents in the countries. Like, we're going to like literally end a lot of you, maybe all of you. We don't care about you. We're not going to tax the rich and make them pay their fair share. We're going to pretend like the deficit cannot be fixed without, cutting safety nets, spending even more on the military with no explanation for why, you know, literally like this whole like sending Israel endless amounts of money with no demand for anything back while bullying Ukrainians and trying to make them give up their souls for just any inch of protection from the evil hordes of Russia. Like, this is a sick and twisted political movement. Sick and twisted. Did you guys see the video of Rick Scott with the Israeli flag behind him just like yapping a whole bunch of bullshit? Like, these people are weird. Like, what is this? How can an America First movement be this worried about Israel? It's one, like, all of Europe is literally far more beneficial as an ally than Europe could ever be. Israel embarrassed us geopolitically. Israel tried to block food from going into Gaza. All sorts of embarrassments they did. They embarrassed us as a country. And they tried to facilitate a Trump victory and then gave Trump a ceasefire that Biden was trying to get to go through multiple times all throughout 2024. Israel humiliated our country, validated an insurrectionist, and of course, MAGA can't help but just love it all. They just love it. And we're supposed to support and trust these people after they destroy this nation? Never. Ever, ever, ever. It is humiliating and embarrassing how they have stomped down on the Ukrainian people, how they've worshipped Israel and it's idolatry is what it is. The way they've worshipped Donald Trump is idolatry, and the way they are willing to sacrifice the American people on the tabernacle of enriching the rich is absolutely vile. Rick Scott is demonic, and it's a damn shame that Hassan Piker, as much as I dislike Hassan Piker's anti-American takes, the anti-American culture on the far left, the fact that Hassan Piker got banned for talking crazy about Rick Scott is a damn shame. He shouldn't have got banned, okay? Like, Hassan Piker's account should have stayed up. When someone talks like this, when someone talks the way Rick Scott talks, I can see why Hassan said what he said. You know, a lot of people didn't like it, but the fact that he got banned for saying what he did about this very clear and concise demonic, vile creature, it's a damn shame. So, that's where we are right now, with MAGA basically just saying, yeah, we're going to kill all of you, and their supporters being none the wiser. Some of them might dislike it, but as soon as the talking points come down from on high, well, you know, some Americans are just going to have to die, and that's just the way it is. It's predictable. You know this is going to happen. You know it. No matter how many times MAGA has a chance to see the light, Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens or Charlie Kirk or whoever releases the talking points, and MAGA goes right back to obeying. These people are bots. These people are literally just like NPC drones, obeying the rich in lockstep. Well, what do we do now? What do we do? Fucking fools.